really feel it's my time, think it's my year. Yeah, yeah. I really feel it's my time, think it's my year. Yeah, yeah. I really feel it's my time, think it's my year. Yeah, yeah. I really feel it's my time, think it's my been ready. Used to hold myself back, myself was staying damn bad. Gotta keep on chugging.
All right, welcome to another episode of Dem Tech Folks. How you guys doing? I'm Rico Randall, and I'm joined by who are you up there?
My name will be Reginald Davis of the St. Petersburg Davises.
He said my name will be like he just named himself. Like you just born
Start
like today.
hey, start off this interview today a little light, funny.
Yeah, I
We
know.
got a really we got a guy with a really great personality.
Who you up there, Marco?
I'll be Marco Randall.
He'll be.
Yeah,
I'll be that chicken named Luda. All right, and we're joined with David. David, go ahead and introduce yourself if you don't mind.
How you guys all doing? I'm happy to be here. I'll be David Huynh today. My tag on a lot of the social medias it's pretty unified. It's KnowFatigue. Double entendre. That's a story for later. But yeah, I'm very happy to be here. Thank you, Rico, for having me on.
You almost called me Randall, man.
I
You
was
out,
about to
man.
call you Randall.
You out now, man. You out, man. We free now, bro.
Right.
We free. We ain't in
Yeah.
the Marine Corps no more. So like, if y'all didn't pick up on that, David, like myself and my brother with Pride Service Marines. So yeah, we deep in. You ain't gotta be feeling left out, Reggie. You still one of the bros. Um, we just brothers in arms. That's it. That's the only difference. But David, where you from, bro?
I am born in from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So way somewhat northeast of the U.S. I was born in Philadelphia, but I was raised in like the suburbs, like right outside of it. So I just drive like 10 minutes, and I'm officially in the city. But yeah, that's where
So
I'm from.
before you get to the next question, are you happy right now? I mean, are
Uh,
you an Eagles fan? Considering your life in
oh,
there.
I'm happy I'm alive. I didn't go to all those parades, dude. People going crazy, taking down like the lights, the street lights and stuff. People going acting like animals, but
That's a real
Yeah.
thing, right
yeah,
there.
no, I'm
Wow.
happy. I'm very happy I'm alive.
You know,
Yeah, I stayed inside. I stayed inside.
I was
But you are an
slightly
Eagles fan,
confused
though.
with that question. I ain't know if Reggie was like shooting a shot or he's like, "Are you
Oh,
happy?"
nah,
bro?"
man.
Like,
No,
what
I'm
are
just
you
saying.
happy,
I'm just saying.
sir?
Well, I mean, this is a big deal. Eagles winning the Super Bowl. I mean,
Yeah, it
people were
is.
pretty excited. So I don't know. And you said you're from right there, so I figured you might be an
Yeah,
Eagles fan.
yeah. I'm gonna upset some people, but I'm not that big of a sports fan. I mean, I played football. I was fat growing up, high school, all that, old line, guard, whatever. But
Hey, man, I'm
I
fat now.
I mostly just watch like UFC and boxing. Like I like combat sports. Yeah, I don't pay too much attention to like everyday sports today.
So
Gotcha,
you can't
gotcha.
kill somebody with a football. I don't want to watch it. That's what's up, man. That's what's up, no doubt. Um, so you did football. You played football in I guess high school or
In public school, I don't think you can start until like seventh grade, until middle school. You can't start playing sports until middle school. So that's when I got started, dude. Like I'm Asian background, dude. Like stereotypical Asian. Go to school,
yeah.
get good grades, go be successful type deal. Football, dude. I didn't even know the rules of the game. Like
You
I
said
didn't know.
typical
I
Asian.
didn't know plays. I didn't know which direction we running the ball. I didn't know nothing.
You
I
gonna
was just
commit?
I was just husky, and I wanted to. I don't know. I didn't
You
want to
gonna
be fat
commit
no
to that
more.
Asian? You gonna commit to that Asian thing? Was you like good with math always, or?
I have never failed a test until I started taking IT
Oh,
exams.
there it is. There it is. I'm
Yeah,
sold.
super
I'm sold.
stereotypical.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for real. So you never
straight
thought
A's,
about it.
everything.
You got
Yeah,
a super smart you didn't
ASVAB,
even know about.
ASVAB. I did like 86. Not
Damn,
too bad. Not too bad.
that's what's up. I did 83. I thought I was doing it, but shit, you did it better, I guess. So, what made you go into the Marine Corps in the first place?
Super lame answer, brother. It was financial. Not to get all sentimental, getting everybody upset, ruin the vibe, but dad divorced when I was 10. So I'm like in fifth grade, but he was the breadwinner. So, it really hit when your breadwinner leaves the house. Kind of went from like normal everyday middle class to like, oh, I'm feeling this lower middle, this lower, I guess this lower middle / low class.
Yeah.
Didn't really have to worry about like food on the table, but was times hard? Sometimes were hard. But anyway, my sister, who's the middle child, I have we're a family of 3. I have my older brother, my sister's the middle, I'm the youngest. My sister went to army first, and I saw how like her life kind of stabilized and on some grown folk stuff, and I wanted to kind of follow her suit, kind of have be my own man, start having adult money. Looking back, it's kind of funny. Oh, I joined the Marine Corps for money, but
Yeah.
there was some ego involved.
So-
there was some ego
No
involved.
money in the Marine Corps.
So-
No money in the Marine Corps, bro.
So
Yeah.
I noticed you said, and you could take this how I'm not trying to take this as like a jab, but I just people we got to know your story so people will be inspired by it. So when you say stabilize your life, were you into anything bad or?
I being multicultural near the cities. I mean, am I aware of that life? Yeah, I was never about that life. I wanted to stay in school. I wanted to get good grades. I wanted to go to college and be successful. I say that in quotes because it's like they never defined for us what successful is. They just when we were young,
that's-
in the early 2000s, it was just successful means you got a 6-figure job, $100,000 job, because that was a lot of money back then, right? But
I'm glad you separate that out like that.
right, because all they were talking about was just job money. They never talked to you about business, ownership, assets, investing. They didn't tell us any of that.
So the reason why I like the way you separated it out is that success for you may not be the same as success for Marco. It may not be
Absolutely.
the same for success for Reggie. And I know for me, I ain't successful until I get all the Elon Musk money.
Right.
I want to buy an island. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah, so the whole thing with the stabilization wasn't really like I was a troublemaker or I had that hard of a rough bringing. It was just really seeing the moms struggle, like work so hard, work so hard, tired, grouchy. It's just like,
Yeah.
that's not what my mom used to be, and it kind of hurt as a kid. And I just didn't like feeling useless seeing your parent go through that. So I wanted to get, working and make money and as soon as possible. But I mean, even as that, I remember I always was like ambitious and I had high goals for myself. Because even in kindergarten, I was like, at kindergarten, at 5 years old, I'm like, oh yeah, I want to make 6 figures. I want to have a high paying job,
Yeah.
So it's probably a cultural thing with the parents thing too.
Looking back on it though, I mean, did you did 4 years, right? You did your solid 4 years, your obligation,
Yeah.
and you got out. Did your sister do the same thing, or did she stay in?
She went reserve. So it took I don't know the math of all the time frames. Reserve years is not the same from active duty contracts. That's all I know. I think they started like 8, some crazy stuff like that. So the math is weird, and I don't know how to. The other thing about Army is they got way different opportunities than Marine Corps. I didn't know this when I heard reserve. We know it's 1 weekend out of every month. Dude, she done signed up like a full-time like duty contract.
Oh
Yeah, they got that.
Marine Corps too.
They got that in the Marine Corps too.
You do that in Marine Corps too.
I never heard of that in the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
So I was like, what is this? You reserve, but you here doing a full-time 40-hour a week thing. And I was just, yeah, so
Yeah, when we was down here in Marcin, that's when I figured it out. Like down here in Tampa on the base, we had some guys that actually they was same MOS as you. One of my boys, Ronald. You remember Ronald Marco?
Cooper.
Yeah, Cooper.
Yeah.
They used to activate. I think they activated for like a year at a time or something like that. As long as there was like orders, they could activate, and that I think that accelerated their retirement points or however that works, But yeah, man, it's definitely different though, on the active side versus the reserve side. And but going back to that and kind of trying to stick to the script of why we're here, right? Because we on the tech stuff, right?
yeah.
You didn't do tech while you was in the Marine Corps.
I didn't. In the Marine Corps, I was a 4421 legal services specialist, which that kind of translate to an actual paralegal. supporting the JAGs, the attorneys, military attorneys, all types of things in the law side. You know, there's different sides of law, just like there's different sides of IT. But you know, there's the whole wills and estate planning, people getting divorced, that type of kind. I guess I kind of want to call it supplementary legal, because most of the time when people hear legal, they think defense and trial, and there was a whole lot of that too. But yeah,
So you did 86 you did 86 points on the ASVAB. That's pretty high, right? Because there's I think it caps out at with like 90 or something like that, maybe.
something like that.
So that's the rate. Like at 83, they was soliciting for me to go and do nuclear stuff. When you end up going paralegal, did you have any kind of like visions of being like a lawyer or something like that eventually, or how did you end up getting that
I
job?
got by the recruiter.
I believe.
So
Me
when
right
I
this
spoke
time.
to him, when I spoke to the recruiter, I said I wanted to, because in my brain I'm joining for the Marine Corps for money. I want to do something with money. I want to manage money, something financial. So I told him that. For any of you that may or may not know, needs of the military, needs of the Marine Corps,
Yeah.
you may not always get what you want. So on my paperwork, transitioning in and everything, it was like a dice of 5 different MOSs, and one of them was that type of like S3 type of financial. It's S1 or S3, something like that. One of them was like that with accounting and whatnot, but I I think how it really turned out was I scored so high in the ASVAB, and the Marine Corps be hurting for the legal side Marines. So once I scored that ASVAB, it was a wrap. It was like I was gonna get pulled in regardless, just because they're hurting for those type of bodies. So
So
there was
it's
there
like
was no there was no decision.
so it's like go where you're needed. I get it. So
Yeah,
I guess the question is, did anything from your legal time in legal translate into your IT career?
absolutely. Because all of my work was administrative on computers and whatnot. So little desk side stuff, like the attorneys might not always know how to print or send an email, or at that time we were still using like Windows 7 sometimes. This is like 2015, 2016, still using like Windows 7. We should really be moving on, guys. But little desk side IT stuff.
So
Yeah.
so it sounds like you were like a pseudo what do you call them? IT manager for like a site or something like that. I can't remember what they call those, but like you're like the local IT guy for that particular office or something like
You're like the
that.
designated IT guy. I guess it was just because I was young and like we grew up doing that, like I was 1996, so I saw, the homeline phones were still there. We still had VHS, we still had the videos, and we had to like finger rewind them back.
You remember that?
I never got to use the rotary phones with the little spin dials. I saw them, but I never got to use them. And what those record players were like
The vinyl.
the big disc and the little flip down with the little pin thing, and that's how it just spins, and that's how it plays the music. I know I described that so badly.
Yeah, you did.
There was still
That's
CD
called
players.
vinyl, y'all. That's called
Yeah,
vinyl.
the
y'all.
vinyl. Yeah. Obviously, I'm showing my age, right?
Had a Walkman.
We still had the CD players, but then I remember right around the 2000s, maybe 2000, maybe
200s.
we started the iPod and the MP3 came out. So, but what I'm
Mind
saying, but what I'm saying is, I guess I came into the world, at the tail end of, I guess you could call it older tech, and then seeing the entire lifeline of newer tech, and I just had to adapt. Like when I was in elementary school, we had tech lab, we had computer labs. When I was in middle school, they were teaching us how to type with like actually using the home keys and doing it all proper. So
You was like on the tail end of the 1900s.
yeah. I mean, 1996. I'm the last of the millennial, right? Before they start calling us like Gen ABC, whatever Gen it is now.
So
That's
was
how I
that
feel about it, Gen ABCD.
so was that how you developed an interest in IT though?
So I got out of the Marine Corps in 2018. By the way, full transparency. Any of the prior Marines that worked with me, they're gonna know this as well. I was a legal Marine. We talk a whole ball about money, entrepreneurship. There was some headbutting. I'm a legal Marine, so I know that UCMJ, right? Without going too much into detail, I got admin sept. So I get out of 2018, and at this point, it's like I got to figure out what I'm gonna do. For a short period of time, about 2.5 years, I was working HVAC. Yes, I was in attics. It's 130 degrees. I fell through the ceiling my like first month because
the ceiling.
I'm like 220 pounds. I body built. I didn't know how houses were built. You know what I'm saying? I'm seeing them walk fast as crap in the attic, but their feet, they're stepping on the joists, the floor joists, right?
Oh, you wasn't.
I didn't pick up on that attention to detail. My big self just straight second floor hallway. I teleported, bro. I teleported. But anyway, more with HVAC. Couple times, I have no trade skills. You know what I mean? So like a couple times, my uncle, I was working for my uncle's HVAC company. A couple of times he freaking saved me because I was about to touch the wrong shiny object and I was about to go see Lord Raiden. You know, yeah, I was about to be cooked. Literally.
Hey, for y'all that don't know, that's a street Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, so it was I bring up the whole HVAC because then I got out in 2018 doing HVAC. I said I did it for about 2-3 years. We're going through 2020, COVID, people are quarantined. It's crazy. It's now 2022, and where I am, Northeast, we have all 4 seasons. There's a vivid summer, spring, fall, winter, like the temperatures, everything. We don't skip any seasons. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's a good and a bad thing because it's good business for summer and winter. It's not so good business for fall and spring for HVAC. You know, like you got to be hot or you got to be cold, and that's why you're gonna call us, right? So anyway, me being a young buck messed up some of my money in my early 20s. This is bad. I'm Asian. Hey, I messed up my credit score. People going to joke on me. Reginald laughing.
Bugging the stereotype.
Yeah. Yo, I love it. I love it. Like, man, you're not going to offend me. I failed there. So, but
is going crazy, man.
The up and down with the income from HVAC, it really wasn't doing it for me. So at that point, again, my sister's doing the whole thing. She went from IT, kind of like junior sysad level 2 help desk, got into security, got her secret clearance, got out of the army, doing the whole GovTech thing. So basically at that time, this is like July of 2022. I'm like, what am I going to do with my life? All this up and down, and just, I looked at her, I took a leap of faith. I was like, I was either going to go full bore with HVAC. Uncle was going to get me a truck. I was going to get certified. I was going to be a full-time tech all on my own, taking maintenance calls, doing installations, whatever. Or let's try this IT thing. And well, we know which route I picked.
Wow.
So I joined the Marine Corps for money. Guys, I got into IT cyber because of money.
Man, if you'd have been in Florida doing HVAC, you'd still be doing HVAC. That made so much damn money down here. But in the middle of the summer, oh my God. They're going to be like, look, man, you got to I have to get rid of a liver because we're going to need our money.
It gets hot down here, man. People cannot
live. They cannot live without their AC. Yeah.
In Florida, boy, it's like a 5-alarm emergency.
It's still like 80 degrees in winter in December. Y'all still hitting 80s in winter. I was like, what the heck is this?
Boy,
don't judge. Don't judge.
Here, bro. Hot at night. Yeah, the chat is going crazy over there. You dropped a lot of stuff that's got people thinking. And reevaluating their lives. But just get back to it though. You made a transition after the HVAC stuff didn't work out, right? Because you wasn't airborne, right? You wouldn't jump out of planes, but you had to do a break fall when you fell through that ceiling, I'm sure.
Right.
So once you got them knees fixed up, you decide I want to do IT, right?
Mhm,
Following your sister's footsteps.
mhm.
You decided on doing cyber, or were you just doing regular IT when you first started into it?
This is so funny 'cause we keep going back to the Asian stereotype jokes, but I promise it's for a reason.
I won't be offended.
My I don't know how to explain. It's just I feel like I was always built like this. Like I'm analytical, philosophical. I just research. I guess that's one really good thing I praise school for is like it taught me how to learn. And if I don't know the answers, I got to go first, do the research to find the answers.
Yeah.
So I know this is going to relate with everybody new into any IT field, but especially getting into cyber. You don't know what you don't know.
Mm.
So my goal is money. I picked the vehicle. I picked the path to be IT cybersecurity. Next question is, what am I going to do in IT? What am I going to do in cybersecurity? The whole point of IT was just as the stepping stone to cyber. The original plan was cyber because of the money. My research showed me cyber is very hard to get into, coming from no experience, coming from no degree. It's not that entry level friendly. So my research brought to me that I should do a stepping stone approach where I get IT work experience first, which I did, and then I transitioned into cyber.
Solid
Yeah,
reason.
that was actually a question I was going to ask you. What made you go to cyber instead of like networks or
Mhm.
systems or something like that? What
Uh-huh.
made you go cyber?
So it was first things first was it was money, but then the second thing is as you don't know what you don't know. So now we're getting into like how do you pick how do people pick cyber? To me, this I didn't come up with this. I learned this, reading books and whatnot. I forgot who taught it, but it's called the law of inversion. So the objective is what do I want to do? Especially today with all the internet information out there, there's overload out here. Like, how do I pick? What do I want to do? There's so much, right? There's IT, systems engineer, sysadmin. There's networking. There's cloud. There's dev. Like, how do I pick? So the lesson I'm trying to teach is not so much. Let me stop trying to push my way, figure out what I want to do, and instead invert that. Let me pull. So the analogy is instead of trying to figure out what I want to do, there's just too much. Let me figure out first what I don't want to do. And it's a gradual process. My thing was I did numerous things, watching YouTube videos incessantly about like an interview like this potentially. Obviously, it was different guests at the time that I was getting on, but watching day in the life, day in the life of a network engineer, watching podcast episodes where they were interviewing XYZ guests who was already working the role. I think third, the biggest thing was my journey of upskilling was a big cert path. It's to this day, I have 24 certs and I'm not slowing down. I just keep getting certs. But as I do XYZ cert and I learn more conceptually, well, when you were doing the work of learning the material, you should be able to kind of ask yourself and reflect, was that material entertaining? Was that material interesting, or was it not interesting? So for me, at the base level, I knew I didn't really want to do programming or dev. To me, like from that early research, I'm like, that doesn't seem interesting to me. Didn't get me too far because then that left systems open, that left networking open, that left cloud open and cyber. But again, I picked cyber first. And there was a period of time where that transition of I'm a IT help desk and I was trying to fight to get into cyber. Dude, I was about to quit. I'm like, yo, we about to stop this real quick. Let me get my CCNA. Let me go be a network engineer because I really needed the money to pick up on debt and whatnot. But it was, yeah.
So were you traversing this path on your own, or did you have like some kind of support? I know you were talking about a program that you and our producer kind of, that's how you guys kind of met through that same program. So
Yeah.
what did that look like?
So the research of so many different YouTubers, so many different influencers, so to speak, you're going to find tons on LinkedIn. Twitter is there, X, TikTok. I don't recommend TikTok.
No?
But YouTube was one of,
Okay.
I don't recommend it because it being so short form, you might not get full context. versus YouTube, you get a full long form and you can really listen for context and see if it applies to you. The short form is easy to like cut it up too much, and you might get bamboozled. You might get sold too well, and it might not be the real thing. So I liked the longer form of YouTube and podcast episodes. So the support system was multifaceted of looking at multiple, I guess, mentors, multiple different sources of like, oh, I look up to this person. Oh, I look up to this person. This person's giving good info. Josh Madacor, Henri Davis, Day Johnson is his name, but his YouTube channel, you know, the Cyberwalks, are just some that I want to mention that, you know, I looked up to, and I was a student of theirs first. So kind of emulating how they got into cyber and seeing how I could pick pieces off and make it real for myself. Because, for example, like let's say Day, I studied Day a lot, but he went the college internship route, right? I tried to get an internship. I had IT Works experience at this point. I had 8 certifications. I was getting rejected for internships until recruiter reached out to me for my first cybersecurity analyst role. So this is what I mean to all you guys is like when we say I was learning from different people, studying how their story of how they got in, but really everybody's journey is going to be different because even if I tried, I couldn't replicate XYZ person's journey exactly. I got no internships, man, none, but I got an IT support job. And, you know, that started the work experience, having some money for certs. And then I finally got, the recruiter reached out to me. So,
I mean, what would you recommend people do that are experiencing the same thing you experienced, where you trying, you can't get an internship? You're like, man, at least I can get an internship. Like, I know I'm not gonna be paid shit, but I'm trying to get some experience so I can, increase my value. Like, what would you recommend people doing, or what would you do differently, if anything, if you were going back and playing that out again?
So my journey specifically, with what I know now, looking back, hindsight 2020, the one thing I would do differently for me is I would have done more hands-on projects sooner. Because earlier in my career, I was heavy with the conceptual certifications because my mindset was on the clout of the cert, because I need HR to see me so that I can get the interview. That was my mindset. Not to say that it didn't work, but you know, when we say doing the right things or did it work, we're just really talking about possibilities and increasing your chances. There's no guarantees, right? So I would still do the certifications. I would have just gotten to the hands-on stuff and gotten a good project or two in much sooner than I had done. Besides that, I wouldn't change too much. The certifications, but then I'm leaving a large thing out, is that my social media presence. I was alive. I was active on LinkedIn. From the moment I passed my CompTIA A+, this is August of 22. I started the LinkedIn, and I've been having LinkedIn Premium ever since. My mindset was I was hoping it would like up my algorithm when I applied to something like that. But really, it just helps you grow a little bit faster, and or you get the direct message people that you're not connected to, like recruiters, right?
So, Rico, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is like kind of the first time somebody's really emphasized social media presence as their part of their growth process.
And I'm surprised because we are definitely absolutely in the age of the creator.
Remember,
Yeah.
I said that.
I mean, am I wrong?
Is like huge.
Am I wrong?
I haven't seen a whole lot of people emphasize on it as heavily as you have.
I mean, we talk about it as a tool, as you know, kind of. We talk about it as something that you do, but never as like, hey, social media presence, LinkedIn helped me grow my career, helped me skill up, things like that. So that's interesting. That's a great take, and I'm sure that's something that other people probably don't even think about.
My studying was like, you can't get hired if people don't know who you are. And I'm paying attention to the success of others before me. So remember, I mentioned that the recruiter found me. At that time, I had 8 months of IT support work experience. I had 8 certifications, and I had 2,200 followers on LinkedIn. This is This is June of 23. July 23, I get my, start date, all that. I leave IT support. Now I'm going over to my first cybersecurity analyst role. The recruiter found me either from Dice or Monster. I forget which website, but I've gotten a success with Dice and with Monster. So they find my resume, they find my profile from that website, but then they go check me out, see if I'm a real person on LinkedIn, and then they direct message me, and then we set up the interview. So I have 2 success stories from Dice and or Monster, and then they found me on LinkedIn. I did not apply to these roles, right? That's the key. I did not apply to these roles.
So what did you do to build up your LinkedIn following? You said you had about 2,000 followers on LinkedIn. What did you do to build that up? Were you like actively going out meeting people, or?
In the beginning, it was real. I think it's corny. But in the beginning, there's like, number one, there's these social Saturdays where, a larger person, a larger page says it's a social Saturday, and it's like, hey, like, comment, connect with other people. I did engage in quite a bit of that. Number one, there's that. Number two, a big, like, if you look at my page today, a big aspect of it was just documenting and really just documenting my journey. I passed a certification, I'm posting it. I'm studying for something new, I'm posting it. I noticed LinkedIn, their algorithm really likes having a picture, at least having a picture. Just text doesn't do too well. Granted, algorithms are always changing, so that, by the time this comes out where somebody watches it, might not be true no more, but I always like trying to post it with a screenshot of whatever I'm working on and just being consistent. So that's really just documenting my journey. It sounds so boring, but like I say this, I'm not a professional content creator yet. We'll be starting a YouTube channel later this year, but
yeah, I saw a couple of YouTube videos. So yeah, all right.
That's funny that you mentioned that, Reginald, because my first podcast episode was with the IT bearded dad, and he was asking for volunteers. At the time I volunteered, this might be May of 2023, so I'm still IT support at this time. I volunteered. Our schedules didn't line up until like August. I get my job in July. So now I'm that success story. I went from no IT to cyber. So it was almost like destiny. It was like a better interview for everyone and for him, for the viewers. So I'm like 1 month into my job at that time when I actually did it with the IT bearded dad. But I mentioned that because was I even worth a dang if I didn't have some followers, if I didn't have some certs, if I didn't have the successful transition to cyber to like even interview? He's got a YouTube channel to run, he's got a business to run. Like, I gotta kind of be worth it. Who am I? Like, I'm just a newbie, right? So,
and if you ain't certain, you ain't I can't say that, man. I can't say that, but hey, it's that time again. Y'all know what time it is. Y'all hear the thunder. That ain't my heartbeat. So right now, what we're going into right now, Dave, is it's a segment of the show we call the lightning lessons.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You sound like you're a lifelong learner.
Yes, sir.
All right, we're gonna see if you can teach some things. All right. So what lightning lessons constitutes is that we will give you some time, not a whole lot of time. We'll give you a little bit of time.
Mm-hmm.
You can think of a subject. It don't have to be IT, but what it has to be within 60 seconds. So lightning lessons is a quick class that you can give somebody where you can have somebody walk away with some kind of toolage. All right. So whenever you're ready, just tell us what you're gonna be teaching. Reggie's gonna start the timer, and then we're gonna get to it. We've had some good ones and we've had some okay ones. We're gonna see how you do. And also if it's trash, we're just gonna immediately end the interview. So we'll bring on Cyberwalk, because you know what I'm saying. I know Cyberwalk. He got some. I seen some of his videos. Dope content, bro. I like the content.
Love the brother. I love the brother day.
So with that, I'll give you some time.
Mm-hmm.
Let us know when you're ready.
Let's kick it off.
Oh shit.
So
let's kick it off.
So first off, What are you going to teach us about?
CIA triad, one of the basic fundamentals of anything cybersecurity.
My man, keeping it simple.
All right. You ready?
Yes, sir. I just hope I don't go over 60 seconds.
Go.
Okay, guys. So, class today on the CIA triad, we're talking about cybersecurity, right? CIA stands for confidentiality, integrity, and availability. What is confidentiality? You are the right person to be having that access. If you don't have that, if you're not supposed to have that access, well, there you go. So, making sure that you're the right person, you have that access. Integrity. What is should stay the way it is, and it should only be changed by the person authorized to. So, for example, you have a bank account, you put in $100, you expect the $100 to be there tomorrow, correct? If it's not there tomorrow, we got a violation of integrity. Availability. When you need access, you have access. Basically, always having access. So, I need my emails. I need to do my job. When I sign in, I can't send an email. That's a problem with availability. Okay, guys. So, quick little lesson on CIA triad.
Hey. That was a slight delay, but we still celebrate you, bro. That was good. That was good. And good on you for checking the time, man. You closed the thing up, kind of quick. Yeah, I knew you had some more stuff that you wanted to throw to it, but that's good consciousness of the time. So that's our lightning lesson. Um, Back to you though. All right. So you did go through the program. You also went through a degree program, right? So
You're talking about WGU?
WGU, right?
Mhm.
That used to be a cheat code back in the day. Me and Marco, we would tell our Marines about that because it was a whole situation of oars, right?
Wait, how long did y'all know about WGU?
Bro, I got my bachelor's years ago from WGU.
Yeah, I got my
Yeah.
bachelor's and my master's from WGU.
I'd never heard of WGU until I started researching IT and cyber, and I'm so upset.
Yeah.
Financially, I'm so upset. My high school never brought WGU up.
Well,
Shout out to my mentor at WGU, Micah Pappas. I know he's doing like bigger things over there right now. But
Because
tell us
in my
about that
mind,
experience.
the average degree minimum 4 years, and probably the least is $40,000. That was what was fed to me, and in my head, that's what college meant. That's what the bachelor's meant. Minimum. It
What
could
did
be
you
60.
like?
It could be 80.
What did you like most about WGU? Or what attracted you to WGU?
Competency, cost.
Nice.
Competency. So my speed. I'm not waiting on XYZ to go with the class. No one left behind. Nah, none of that. I'm running my own pace. If I know what I'm doing, I can pass the class, move on quickly. And then the cost, which kind of goes hand in hand with if you can move much faster, you don't have to go for another term. You're saving money there. I should mention one more thing. The fact that they integrated certifications into the degree program really separates them from so many colleges and universities.
100%.
It is what it is.
Because the other ones, they had courses that, in air quotes, prep you for the certification.
Mhm.
Whereas WGU they integrated it right in there. So like,
Yeah. And you
I
have to
had-
pass them.
yeah, and I had Network Plus, not Network Plus, but Network 101 or whatever it was.
Mhm.
I didn't even have to sit in that class. I scanned my because I already had CCNA. I scanned my CCNA, faxed it or emailed it to them. I'm not gonna say I faxed it because I'm gonna really be calling me old. But I sent that out and I was done. I didn't have to take the course, and it was like that. As soon as you knock that certification out, you're done, and that's what I liked about it. And on top of that, it's like it's your own pace. And like when you finish all your courses for the term, if you had like enough time to pick up one or two more, you could pick up one or two more with no additional cost. So
Mhm.
I definitely like that. But we used to talk to our Marines about it all the time because it was a situation where people didn't know if they should go for a certification or go for a college degree.
Right.
Either one could like stifle your competitiveness, right?
Mhm.
Where they were like, okay, well, you got a degree, but you don't have any certs, or you have certs, but we're gonna lowball you because you don't have a degree. You
Exactly.
know what I mean? So yeah. But what else did you find appealing, or did you cover everything?
I think those three really hit it. I guess it goes with cost, but you know, it's online, so you don't have to go to a facility, anything of that nature. I do hear some bad talk about WGU. It's kind of fair, but I also think it's not, it doesn't hold that much weight. They talk about, number one, they talk about the social aspect of it because you're not in person networking. Fair game. You don't get that. If you got the personality, if you got the charisma, you got the energy, and you're networking, maybe you spruce the professor up, and who knows, him or her likes you, and they internally refer you. Gotcha. But we go back to you should be doing your thing on social media too.
Exactly.
Make it say you're active there. So that's one thing I don't, it's give or take. People talk about it's not for people who struggle with accountability. Like they need that accountability. It's hard to be self-driven. I call BS on that because in the context of we're talking about IT field, if you don't got self-driven, if you don't got discipline, if you need motivation, if you need to be told what to do all day, every day, you're not meant for this field. I'm sorry.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
That's called being an adult, though.
That's called being an adult, and you're gonna get stuck at level 1 anything. That's what's gonna happen. You want to break into level 2, you want to possibly break into level 3. So much of it is researching on your own, teaching your own, learning your own, and at times coming up with new solutions on your own.
100%.
Like we say in the Marine Corps, adapt and overcome, right? Like I don't like that down talk on WGU that it's not a good thing that they don't hold your hand. Like what are we talking about? Do we want to get the degree or not? Do we want to get the job or not? Do we want to get these certs, or what are we talking about?
David got bars. Spitting game. I tell you, the biggest motivator for me is I'm spending money.
I'm trying to get in and out. I'm trying to get in and out, sir.
So you telling me I intentionally wasted thousands of dollars because I didn't feel like going to class? Come on now.
Yeah. I said motivation when that just like sparked another thing in my brain. Like I don't like motivation, as y'all probably already know this. Like I don't believe in motivation. Motivation can get you started, but everything is going to come down to discipline. You're going to have to do it even when you don't feel like it or when you're tired.
So
I
you want
to
go ahead.
I posted it, and it's gonna be quick. It ain't gonna be nothing crazy. I posted this quote because like one of my channels on the Discord is like just for motivational quotes. Because sometimes I find myself just like ready to just want to throw it all in the trash,
Yeah.
But sometimes you just you get through some motivational stuff and you get reinvigorated. But this quote, it kind of aligns to what you were saying. It's like it says, if it's important to you, you will find a way. If it's not, you will find an excuse. So, yeah, I mean, if you really want to change your circumstances, because I grew up eating free lunch. That's cool. If you know, you know. And I wanted more for myself, and I wanted, to be able to provide more and be able to help people around me that I cared about. So I work for that. I work for them. I work for my future self so I can be comfortable, So you got to really consider that and be able to delay gratification, put in the work. Reggie, you had something.
No, I was literally gonna say, did you want to talk about that philosophy that you have, motivation versus discipline, and how that has been, sounds like your guiding star throughout this success that you've had throughout your life and where you are now?
Say that one more time.
I was going to say, like, did you want to talk about that difference that you have between motivation and discipline, and how that's kind of been your guiding star, and how you use that to get to where your success is now?
This comes back to being a fat kid, the whole childhood upbringing.
Your voice changed. Everything in your voice, your mannerism, everything changed when that subject came up.
Yeah. So I guess it comes from a self-hatred. we're discipline. We're talking about motivation. We're talking about discipline. We're talking about really self-accountability. Coming from me being an overweight kid my whole life, all the way up into high school, I'm talking like junior year of high school. So I'm like 16, 17, right? I'm overweight. Well, technically morbidly obese, right? For BMI, whatever. But I don't know what world you guys lived in, but the world that I lived in, I was fed nothing but excuses. And it was okay. Oh, you big boned. Oh, your metabolism's slow. Oh, this, oh, that. Oh. So it's like, hey, man, your crappy situation, it's not your fault. It's because of this. It's because of this. It's because of this. My ambitious brain never shut off. The pain of the bullying, the pain of the failure. I don't get that girlfriend. I don't get asked out. I don't get picked on the kickball team. I'm the last one to get picked. All these little things, like that pain doesn't go away, right? Being uncomfortable in your clothes, hard time picking out things. That essentially, I got tired of being tired. I got tired of not liking the way I looked, felt, XYZ. So it came down to, in my mind, yo, I cannot live this life no more. I can't, not off myself, but I can't live life like this no more. So no matter what, every day we're going to do something towards getting a different result. No matter what, I don't care. Like in high school, I was working at Taco Bell. I think I'm the youngest. I was the youngest manager on the East Coast. I was a manager, still a minor, at 17 years old. So I'm at a fast food restaurant and I'm bringing my own meals, cooking, eating my own calories, macros, everything. And in 1 year, I went from 250 pounds to 180. So I'm 5'9". So, little dimensions, whatever.
180 in a year.
In 1 year,
Sheesh.
70-pound difference.
This is pre-Marine Corps.
This is pre-Marine Corps. So I had discipline. I had discipline before I came in. Yeah.
A lot of people ask me about that. They like assume that I became this way because of the Marine Corps, but I'm like, nah. I think those things multiply who you are, or they multiply where you can go. But you already had that in you,
right? So I was a bodybuilder before the Marine Corps, and the Marine Corps definitely increased my discipline to a degree. Those were some of the crappiest situations I've ever been in. And then the timeliness, I never got it beat into me like that 15 minutes early. That was a great thing. But then also the presentation, the dress, the grooming, ironing my clothes. I never, dude, the TPs. Yeah, dude. Yeah. So, if y'all don't know TPs, I don't know where the term came from, but it's like when you have those little stray threads on your clothes.
Yeah. They
gave us a lighter and we had to like burn that all off, make sure it was fresh. But back to the whole discipline and motivation, and the first 6 months of working out, I hated every day. I hated every day. I did it through P90X. So we had those DVDs and you had to, dude, I would procrastinate my workout and it's like midnight. It's midnight. So it's the next day technically. But in my mind, mama ain't raised no B. So, all right, it's midnight. It's the next day. I got to do my workout before I go to bed. Otherwise, I just quit on myself and I didn't do the workout for the day. And I was able to do that for an entire 6 months before I transitioned from P90X to, it was another program from that same company, Beachbody. This program was called Body Beast.
Yeah.
Body Beast was their bodybuilding, because I thought I was husky playing football. Bro, I got lean. I was scrawny as playing football. You think you husky, man? And then my arms was just, I think I had like 14-inch arms. It was bad. It was bad. I always wanted to be a little bit more built, like bodybuilders, seeing Arnold Schwarzenegger or whatnot. So the whole discipline thing, it was everything for me to getting the results. It was everything. When I didn't feel like it, when I was hungry, you're motivated to go binge on your diet, but no, the discipline.
It sounds like that's what you carried into your career, right?
I had to carry it into my life from that point onward. That point changed everything in my life, because that point of going to working out and taking full accountability of my situation, being fat, being overweight, that was one of the first times in my life that I took full accountability. It's always my fault. Even if something happened to me, I control how I react. And if something does happen to me, I control how I react. I could also control how well I prepare for it, possibly in the future. So no matter what, I was in control.
Yeah.
And
Hey, let's pivot real quick. 'Cause I do like that. I like that, especially the last part. That's online with like that sounds more like kind of like stoicism.
yeah.
I'm about that. But what I do want to talk about, because I don't want us to run out of time before we do so, what you're currently doing, and I want to know like I want to talk about what you enjoy most about that, what you don't enjoy, what you enjoy least, and how you stay current. Like those are the three things I really want to kind of like eclipse this thing with.
Okay. So right now I am a cybersecurity engineer specifically for SIEM, security information and event management platforms. I'm big on Splunk certifications and all that, but then also Microsoft Sentinel because that's what the work is demanded for. I'm also with a good mix of an actual analyst, a senior cybersecurity analyst. So there's the whole fun thing with triage and investigation, things of that nature. So I guess with those two type of work focuses, I think on the sim engineering that I dislike, there's many times where I have a problem and I have to troubleshoot and there's no answers. There's none. And it's like you going down deep rabbit holes, reading this white page, reading this documentation, and it's like you're reading the little bit of documentation that you can get, but it doesn't answer your question. So from whatever you're reading, you have to mix it with all your fundamental and background and prior experience to try to hopefully get the actual answer, troubleshoot, get to root cause, things of that nature. So that's one thing that gets difficult with being engineering level. With the analysts, I mean that's pretty simple. The biggest thing there is it's fun when it's a bad way to put it, but in a way it is kind of fun when you got a breach / incident / security event and you're going to get deep into the weeds and you actually feel like you're fighting a war, you're in combat, or chess, or it's like chess, however you want to take it. But you gotta write the incident response reports afterwards.
Yeah, that's not the fun part right there. Absolutely not the fun part.
I guess one other thing is potentially just this is to both possible job roles. This is not like any is sometimes depending on your industry, depending on your company, they might look at cybersecurity as an afterthought. The struggle there is you want to make improvements, you want to make changes, and it's like I have to fight and pull teeth to try to basically almost make a business plan proposal presentation to sell and market. Here's the pros, here's the cons, here's the ROI, here's why we need this, here's the implementation timeline. I mean, I feel like what's going on? We doing cyber anymore? What this is? I mean, it's a good thing I rambled into that because it's a good thing to mention that just because it's IT, just because it's cybersecurity, doesn't mean that business leaves the industry. You don't get to just stay technical. You will have to mix and learn aspects of real life business. There is finances, there is finite time, there is finite money. You will have to communicate very well, both written and verbal, and you will have to get your thoughts across to other people who may not. C-suite is not cybersecurity mindseted. A lot of them aren't, right? Besides CISO,
business mindset.
They're business
What
mindseted.
does this mean for the business? What does this mean?
Exactly.
What the things that I care about? I don't care about your ones and zeros.
Exactly. So I guess sometimes that bickering can get exhausting, but yeah.
So there's a question in the chat. I'm gonna pop it up real quick. So they're saying, what labs or platforms do you recommend to get hands-on experience? If someone was hopeful to do the things you're doing, how would they prepare themselves so they can become competitive in that space?
Hands-on. As of now, there's really kind of three ways, okay? There's your subscription-based training platforms. Try Hack Me, Hack the Box, Let's Defend, things of that nature. There are hands-on certifications. Blue Team Level 1, Certified Cyber Defenders. Now there's TCM Security with their PSAA. Not trying to leave anybody, there's Hack the Box, CDSA as well. So I'm talking about hands-on certs. And then number 3, because we're talking about the topic of hands-on, is doing your home lab / projects. That's kind of those different 3. In terms of my recommendations, this is going to apply to the beginner. I'm trying to speak as mostly as widely to beginners, is that I think the paid training certifications are the best, and here's why. It focuses on learning first. You go right into home labs projects, have fun. You don't know how to connect. You don't know how to change that protocol to connect and make sure your home lab, your VMs are talking to each other. Have fun. Let's say you subscribe right to Hack the Box. You get stuck in a challenge lab in a CTF. Have fun. Versus you buy Blue Team Level 1, you buy CCD. It teaches you. The point of it is that it teaches you first, and then it gives you the project with a lab, the hands-on to actually stress test and practice. So I value that learning first before we just get straight. We just get busy, So I don't like sitting there struggling, not knowing what to do, and that kind of that try harder mentality. I have the work ethic, but it's like I don't know what I'm doing. So I like the paid certifications first. Blue Team Level 1, PSAA. Those are the more level 1 analysts. We're talking about security analysts because there's pen testing side too.
Cool. Reggie or Marco, did y'all have any other question? I know I've been kind of hogging the mic for the
I do. Where do you see yourself next?
So I definitely don't want to do management. I don't want to do management because my temperament. I don't really like my patience with the lack of performance, whether it's intelligence, whether it's work ethic, regardless. I'm going to want to do the knife hand, is what I'm saying.
Interesting.
You're gonna tilt me, and then I don't want to do that. Especially, it's a little bit with corporate environment. It's a little bit with politics where I would fear for my job if I held somebody accountable, but maybe my upper management is like, yo, we don't do it like that around here. It's like, hey, I'm just trying to take care of me and my people and make sure that we're doing our thing. And if I have to get a little bit stern and assertive with an individual because they're lacking or they're falling behind, let me do my job. So that's one big thing. I'm if I had the support of upper management, I wouldn't mind doing it. But in some ways, it could feel like it's babysitting. I forgot your question. I went into.
No, that was it. Where do you see yourself going? So I think you're saying you don't want to go here, but where do you want to go?
So I love staying technical. I love it for multiple reasons. It's hard. Why does that matter? Financially, this is a good thing because not too many people willing to do what it takes. Everybody want to be a bodybuilder, but don't nobody want to lift no heavy weight, right? So my point is,
Ronnie Coleman.
if it's so hard for me to get to this level 2, level 3, and I have to do all these certs, I have to do all these hands-on, well, obviously, number 1, that makes my skill set valuable. But number 2, it makes it very hard for anybody to compete with this. Very hard. You have to be willing to do what I did or better, essentially. So, and I think that's from a long-term perspective of job security. Hey, these last 2 years and even now, all these layoffs and whatnot, I feel like I'm more protected / job secure if my skill set is that valuable. Even if I get laid off, I could bounce back fast. Versus, let's say I'm a project manager. Versus, let's say I'm a manager. I feel like you don't have as many strings to pull on to compete, like certs, like this, that, and the third, to really get back in the game and get hired again. So, I don't like the management. I like the technical. There's different tiers of level 1, level 2, staff, principal, senior, things of that nature. But I love security engineering. I love the analyst side. I just love the blue team.
So
Yeah.
just a piece of advice that I would give you is because I was you, right? I'm probably still you in some ways, but just older and going through some stuff. Like I've gone through some stuff, like for real, with my temper and my temperament, right? The whole knife hand thing. I'm with you because it's like people see you as like this this mean person maybe, or this a-hole,
Hmm.
but it's like it comes from a place of love where you like you just want, you're frustrated because this person could be doing so much more and you want
Mission
so much
accomplishment.
from them. You know what I
That's what it
mean?
comes back to. We get frustrated because we put mission accomplishment first.
Yeah. But it's just like, I would say, over the next couple of years, just kind of like do a little bit more introspection as to like ways to modify your social approach,
Hmm.
and how, it's the stoicism stuff,
Yeah.
just controlling and being able to regulate your emotions properly, because if you pull yourself back from situations and just kind of try to understand like this person across from you, you'll find more creative ways to express yourself, and leadership is about trying to find a way to meet a person where they are in a way that is advantageous for them.
Hmm.
Because for me, that whole this, I'm
Yeah.
cool with that. Like,
Yeah.
if you gonna chew me up, because I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna get better from that. But I know I've noticed that like everybody isn't built like, they're not like us, right?
Yeah.
They can't take that tough love and still kind of push back. They'll internalize it, take it personal, get caught up in their emotions, and they won't progress a lot of them.
I think
So yeah,
I think you're still kind of new too. I think as you progress in like age and in your career, you're gonna settle down, and
yeah,
with the mindset and the temperament, not temperament, but the mindset that I think I'm getting from you, you're gonna want to go into management because you seem like the type that want things to run well, right? You want to
yeah,
run a tight ship. You're not gonna want to sit around and watch these guys slack off. Like you can't shape stuff too well from the bottom. At some point, you're
That's a
gonna
good
want
point.
to elevate to make sure that you can mold the team, mold the organization.
He's selling me.
The
man,
reason why I say that is
Well,
because, like Rico
That's
said,
good. That's good.
I'm like you. I'm the same way. Like, bro, this time last year, probably 18 months ago, I hated management. I
Hmm.
hated it because, I wasn't always a knife hand guy. I was like, hey, come here, devil dog. Let me talk to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm still devil dog you, but it's like you get the opportunity to shape it, and I feel
Hmm.
like that's something that you're going to be pulled to at some point.
Yeah.
what I
The decision making aspect of being in the management. Yeah. No. That's a
Yeah.
good point.
yeah
so
when
Very
I
good
was
point.
go ahead, Reggie. I know you.
no, no. I mean, I was just gonna say like, I mean, you are managing people, but you're also managing an organization, concepts. You're also setting a direction on how the organization is gonna go. If
Right.
you look at it from that aspect, right? I mean, people are just part of that, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
So I think that's kind of how you have to look at it because you sound like a guy that wants to be able to like, okay, here's the direction, here's my vision, here's my goal, here's where we want to be. You can't do that being a cog. You got to be behind the wheel.
Yeah.
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
But and there's also a happy medium though, right? Because what we're talking about right now, I think, is the equivalent of an officer. You can go what I think is
like a
comparable to
warrant.
like a warrant,
Yeah,
where you
Right.
just
Right.
a
Right.
senior engineer and you provide the mentorship. You don't really do all the administrative stuff. I mean,
Hmm.
there is that where you can still shape it, right? You got people
Mm-hmm.
around you that's listening to you, they're taking your guidance. You're really shaping it from the inside. So, and I think that's an evolution where you
Yeah.
go that route and then you maybe progress or maybe you like that so you stay in that area. But I mean, we'll see. I mean,
Yeah.
you got
Anybody got any?
time.
Anybody got any save rounds before we turn it down? We got quite a few people in the chat. I'm glad we got, we're getting more engagement. Do you have anything you want to leave the people with, Dave, before I close us down?
Dude, I'm I'm so thankful and happy to be here and chat it up with some fellow devil dogs. Nothing to. I mean, I could talk for more, but yeah, we're gonna be here all night.
Man,
So
we
yeah,
could
no.
too. We could too. There's a lot more that I definitely wish we could have gotten to. Especially with like the professional side.
Yeah.
We normally want to talk about like how you decompress.
Hmm.
Because mental health is a big thing. Even though you did hint on that quite a bit on the front end of the conversation, we really didn't express what that means to you at this stage in your life.
Yeah.
But I'm sure we can have you on, on a later show, because we definitely wanted to start doing some panel interviews where we have like a lot of experts and professionals like yourself that can kind of come together and we can have a mind meld. But before we close it on out, I just want to thank everybody that came into the chat, throwing questions and all the other stuff that y'all was talking about in the chat. I won't bring all that to the light, but if you're interested to know how to chat parties, join us on Tuesday nights, 8 o'clock Eastern, where we'll have like a new person, or maybe we'll just have a new topic. What it take folks just kind of like start chopping it up on different topics. We also have a Discord where we're formulating a community, much like a lot of the other communities that you guys have. This isn't something where we're trying to do anything really new. We're just trying to do what's already being done very well, but just doing it in our own way, playing our own part in the community. We have live demos that we host on Thursday nights at 8 o'clock p.m. If you're interested in getting into these schedules, you can look us up. Find our Discord. You can link our Discord by our link tree. That's the developeverymind.com. That is developeverymind.com. Spell it out straight like that. And link up with us on socials, ask questions. If you have someone that you think would be great to have on the show to interview, send them my way. Definitely send them my
Dude,
way.
I got some folks for you.
Yeah.
I got some folks for you.
Like we really what we're really looking to do is we want to highlight representation, right? We want to show that there's people out here that's doing this, and we also want to show that there's people out here that's very, personable, right? We got personality. It ain't just the geeks with the Coke bottle glasses that's hiding in the
With the hoodie
grandma's,
on.
yeah, with the hoodies on in the grandma's basement. So we're
Right.
real people, and we actually like know this stuff very well on an enterprise level. Um, did I miss anything, fellas?
Take my glasses off.
Yeah, take them glasses off, man.
Just joking.
But yeah, I'm glad you guys rocked out with us tonight. It was a great conversation, bro. And like you said, we definitely didn't cover everything. And I wish we could go, for a longer period of time.
Yeah.
But
Say Joe Rogan.
yeah.
Be like 3-4 hour podcast.
I know, right?
Like shit, we gotta get some breakfast after we get done.
Join us for breakfast. We'll be
You
getting
know
in.
what
No,
I'm
I'm just
saying?
joking.
All right. But with that, I'll go ahead and close it out. Yeah, let's go and stop this recording. Give it some time, let the recording pop up. And I'm assuming you don't have a VPN because your stuff went straight up. Cool.
You know what?